first question that people always ask when they meet me is, how tall are you? Did you play basketball? Do you want to be a model? Well, we'll just go ahead and get all this out of the way. I'm 5'11", yes, I did used to play basketball, and no, I have no desire to be a model. Well, now that you know those basic facts about me, I'm going to tell you a little bit more. I'm going to start off with my background in history, move on to my life at A&M right now, and then I'll finish up with some hobbies and interests that I have. Well, my friends kind of make fun of me for my East Texas accent, but surprisingly, I'm not even from Texas originally. I was born in Syracuse, New York, and I don't really remember much about New York except for the fact that it snowed all the time. One time it snowed about 5 feet, we were stuck in our house for a week. It was awful. Well, I only lived there for about 5 years, and then my dad, typical dad, he decided, well, his job was kind of boring and he was ready to move somewhere else. So at age 5, we moved to Minneapolis, Minnesota. Well, I thought we were going to escape the cold weather, but no, we did not. It was even colder in Minnesota. And I don't get along with cold weather very well, so wasn't that great. But we lived there for about almost exactly 5 years actually. And then one day, my dad was gone and he was always on business trips. So we asked my mom, well, where's Dad, Mom? She said, oh, he has a job interview in Texas. And of course, I had never been to Texas, knew nothing about it. And I said, the state where they ride horses to school? Mom was like, yes, but he's been on all these job interviews. He's not going to move to Texas. Well, 2 weeks later, packed up the moving truck and we were on our way to Tyler, Texas. Now, I had no idea where that was. It was a shock the first time I went there, but I realized they don't really ride horses to school, so it probably wasn't going to be that bad. Well, my family still lives in Tyler, Texas, surprisingly, and out of all the places I've lived, I can definitely say it's been my favorite because there's no snow and it doesn't get cold. Well, you might be wondering, how did I end up at A&M? I'm the youngest of 3 kids, and my brother, who's the oldest, he just applied to all the schools in Texas, and whichever one gave him the most money, that's the one he was going to go to, which happened to be A&M. 2 years later, my sister came around, and she had to apply to colleges, and she said, well, the only college I've been to is A&M, so that's where I'm going to go. Well, then 2 years later, it was my time to apply for college, and I told my parents, I am not going to A&M, I don't want to follow them, I'm going to do my own thing. Well, the deadline to apply was about a week away, so my parents said, where are you going to go? And somehow I chose A&M, but I'm definitely glad that I did. Right now I'm an accounting major and I'm in the PPA program, which is a 5-year master's program at A&M. I chose accounting just because I like math, accounting has numbers, I hate science, there's no science in accounting, so it seemed like a perfect fit. And I can definitely say that I'm glad I made that choice. I'm tax specialty in accounting, and I just finished my internship at KPMG in Dallas, and thankfully they offered me a job, so when I graduate next May, I'll be working there full time. Well, I know you all know that accountants have such great personalities, so I'm sure you can't wait to hear about all my interests and hobbies. Besides doing tax returns all day, of course, I enjoy other things. I spend a lot of time on Pinterest, like many other girls, just doing crafts, painting things. Whenever I see something, I always think, I can do that myself better. So I'm just your typical do-it-yourselfer for everything. I also like to spend a lot of time baking, which my friends love, but they hate. Because there's always cookies or cake or something at my house. And they love it until they look in the mirror, step on the scale. So, other than that, I also really enjoy sports and playing sports, watching sports, everything. My brother wasn't really into sports, so of course I, as the youngest child, was always the one just sitting on the couch with my dad, watching the football game. So I pretty much grew up around sports. I played volleyball and basketball, and I ran track in high school, which, of course, my life used to revolve around that. I don't play sports anymore competitively, but whenever I have the chance, I do still play. I also like to read. I know that makes me a nerd, but I really do enjoy reading. There's nothing better than just reading a good book. Well, now that you've learned all about me, I'm sure you can't wait to get to know me in real life. I know this is an online class, so we probably won't ever get to meet each other, but if we ever do, we can just go ahead and skip over all the awkward tall jokes and tall questions, and we can really get to know more about each other. Thank you.